Hey, Alan here for Old English Outfitters. So we have today a new product for 2024 from Smith and Wesson. Now, we all know Smith and Wesson. Been around for a very long time. Mostly we know them for revolvers, semi-automatic pistols, and lately, in the last few years, rifles, AR-15 patterns, and some other unique stuff like the folding carbine, which we reviewed before. This is a new yard for them to be in. Lever action rifle, the 1854. Why 1854? Because in 1854, Smith and Wesson made a lever action rifle. So they've called this one the 1854. There are currently two variations of this. This one, which is stainless steel and black polymer, and the other one is blue and wood. Very elegant looking rifle, the blue and wood. This one, very utilitarian looking. Either one, currently 44 Magnum. Will they make them in other calibers? They haven't said so. I would think they would. They should, because it's a pretty good product. So we shot this today in 44 Magnum, and I got to tell you, it was a lot of fun. Handled really, really well. Action's pretty good, pretty smooth. It's kind of hard. Good sights, just nice features overall. So black polymer stock. They didn't go with laminate, and they didn't go with wood on this. This is a work gun. This is a utilitarian rifle. You take this out and hunt with it. You get it in the woods. You're not going to feel bad about beating it up a little bit. It's a work gun. Good heavy-duty polymer. Nice recoil pad. Full power 44 Magnums aren't bad to shoot out of a rifle, but there's recoil there. This is helpful. We got some checkering on the pistol grip. We got some checkering on the forearm. Nothing overly aggressive, just good solid stuff. The loop on the lever is not narrow like original loops were. It's big, but it's not too big. It's almost perfect. You got gloves, everything like that works pretty good. If you're running it fast, I ran it fast a couple times. No big deal. Easy to get to. Flat face trigger, like flat face triggers we've always talked about. A few times we've talked about flat face triggers, about how they improve the feel of the trigger. So they went with a flat face trigger on this. The action itself is very much like older lever actions in designs like Marlin's, okay? So we have a side eject, not a top eject. And to keep the gun safe, we have a crossbolt safety. Now the hammer has a couple positions. We got full cock. We got all the way down, right? And there is a half cock spot right there. If you had a round chambered, just a safety point, if you had a round chambered and you wanted to keep this safe in the field where all you got to do is reach up and cock the hammer, half cock and put the safety on. Half cock itself, I would not fully trust. If it got dropped, it got hit, breaks off the sear, might discharge it. That's why that crossbolt safety's there. It's not there just as an ornament. It's there for that reason. So if you were going to actually employ it from here, you'd want to probably cock it and then disengage that safety. Okay? Trigger pull, not bad. Action, pretty smooth. Not bad. We shot it fast. No real issues. We have a side loading gate. We also have the ability to take the tube loose at the top and drop them in down here. Loading through the side gate, you put one in, you don't slide it all the way in, you put the others behind it, you can load it full up. Looks like it holds 9 rounds in 44 Magnum. But when it's time to unload, very easy. All you got to do is just take the tube loose and dump them out the front. So it works pretty good. It doesn't have a slot in the tube like other designs have. You just pull the tube out, and the hole right here where the tube goes down into is where you can load your rounds. Works okay. We're going to talk about the sights in a minute. Let's move forward here a little bit. We got a 19-inch and change, 19.5, 19.25-inch barrel. It is threaded at the front with a good solid cap, so you can put a suppressor on it if you want to. On the bottom up here, I really like this. This is a neat little setup here. On the forend cap, we've got a built-in but low-profile sling swivel point. So it doesn't stick down off the gun. This is kind of nice up here like that, right? So you put your swivel in there and away you go. You got a conventional swivel stud on the back end, so slinging this is very easy to do. Piece of cake. The two-tone look is very nice. We have some blue accents. The bolt's blue. The loading gate is blue. We got a blue screw, blue hammer, trigger, and lever. We've got a blue cap up here on the front where the tube is. And, of course, the sights are blue. So it gives it a nice two-tone appearance. The stainless is not shiny. It's kind of a matte finish. I like it. It looks good. It has good business-looking appeal to it. Now let's talk about the sights for just a minute. They're an aperture rear and a gold bead front. Makes it very, very easy to sight this using the existing sights. If you've never shot a peep or an aperture rear sight before, you ought to try it. You let this kind of just turn into a ghosty little ring. That's why it's called a ghost ring sight. You don't focus on this. But the front sight, any aperture sight is like this. The tendency is when you look through it, this just turns into a blur. If you focus on the front sight, your eye has a natural tendency to put that front sight in the center of that circle. So it makes it very easy to aim, very intuitive. Like the gold bead, it's sturdy, not going to break. It's a good sturdy front to start with. The aperture back here is not real small. It's not super large. It's just a good intermediate size. Perfect ghost ring. It is windage and elevation adjustable here. No problem there. In front of it, integral part of this is a very short rail. Now, when I look at this rail, it looks to me like it's going to be probably too short for most scopes. You might be able to crowd it in there, ring and ring, but it's going to be kind of short. Perfect for a red dot, no doubt about that. You could put a scope on it. You're going to crowd it a little bit, but it'll work, right? If it had a little bit longer rail, you could put something different on here. But let's remember something. This is a 44 Magnum. It's not a 308. It's not a 30-06. It's not a 6.5 Creedmoor. You're going to shoot this thing probably at 100 yards or less. You certainly have energy to get further than that, but then you start running into trajectory issues with the round. So you may not want a high magnification scope on it. I would not want a high magnification scope on it. For me, it's perfect with the sights it has, but if you need more, you can certainly put a red dot here, an intermediate powered scope like 2-7 or something like that, probably make that work. Speaking of scopes, the hammer is cut for a hammer spur to go off either side to make it easy to cock if you've got a piece of glass up here. And to their great credit, it's a small thing, but it's very nice. It's a very good idea to do it. They give you a hammer spur with the gun. So you don't have to go hunt one. You have to go find one that fits. They give you one. So just put it on and you're all set. The Smith and Wesson 1854 44 Magnum. This rifle was fun to shoot. It was accurate. It was perfectly reliable. It has, if you feel the need, if you're a predator hunter and you're hunting at the kind of ranges this cartridge would be useful for, or you're using it for defense purposes, maybe. Got a slot on either side up here. M-LOK compatible. Got one on the bottom too. So you can put a light or laser or whatever you want up there on those slots. No problem there. I'm hoping that they will offer it in other calibers because if they can keep it like this, it's going to be pretty darn nice. The Smith & Wesson 1854 lever action rifle. Now, we're going to have these, but as always, we always tell you, check with us for current price and availability because that goes up and down in this current crazy world that we're living in. So, there you go. That's what we have for today. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it greatly. See you next time. I'm Alan for Old English Outfitters.